The racers have named each other in order to make sure that no one's playing a recording. And it looks like the race is off to a start on the top level. Oh, yeah, here we go. Everyone's joining in now. So, want to go ahead and talk about the prologue a little bit?
Sure. So in the prologue, it's a little bit of a tutorial. The runners are going to get a feel on the controls of the game. You have a jump and a grab, and you will get a dash here, as you'll see on acaroline's stream. And there's a lot of other tech that you'll see immediately in Chapter 1, and I'll let Birdo go ahead and switch over and talk about that.
Sure. So the bird right now is teaching Madeline the dash move. And the dash is really the foundation of all the speed tech in this game for the most part. You can build up a lot of speed by dashing followed by a jump. And you can do this either along the ground or along a wall. And right off the gate, the racers are going to be starting to use these tricks to move quickly through these levels.
So as you see on Caroline's stream, she just did a wall bounce. It's where you jump against a wall and then dash vertically, and you get a nice boost. It's used a lot in the run.
The player is now making their way through the Forsaken City, the shortest chapter in the game. The world record now is under a minute, just under a minute. Very impressive by Hornlets there. The main mechanics in this game is just to show off the dash mechanics. We have these zippers that move along a track and give you momentum. We got the springs that bounce you up, and various other little things like these crumbling blocks on OddBod's screen.
Yeah, it's definitely a good setup for the rest of the game, just to get the players used to how the run will go.
The way the momentum works, etc.
So Caroline is having a fantastic run, making their way to the end of Chapter 1 here. We're going to see a spike jump. Nicely done.
It's actually a jump off the wall right next to the spikes. But it does look like a spike jump, so we just call it that.
Yeah, so I believe how it works is as long as you are not pressing the button into the spikes, Madeline is able to take a jump off of them. And there actually is a category for dashless in Chapter 1, which utilizes that technique a lot.
We have most of our players now entering Chapter 2. It starts off with a dream sequence here. It's a little spooky. We've got some... Alright, OddBod has just did a little cutscene skip glitch there to end up within the dream block. These dream blocks, these black floaty spacey blobs, very fun mechanic. You dash through them and you sort of sloof right through it out the other side. If the other side is a wall, you'll just be smushed, so gotta watch out for that.
And now OddBod is entering the battle line chase sequence. So in this part, battle line will be chasing Madeline, and it's a 3-second delay, and she will mimic Madeline's moves throughout. So there's a lot of route planning that you have to do, and some tricky situations. And as you move further along, more battle lines will appear. So I believe here we have now 3 of them showing up on OddBod's screen.
OddBod, you saw it earlier, he missed one of these lock switches, but managed to wait just a little bit for battle line to pass and then got it again.
You know, Caroline getting out of the lock switch room too.
OddBod has finished the battle line chase, and now he's just moving through some of these last movement-based sections. No real danger of death here, but it is still a challenge to move through these quickly without getting slowed down by anything.
And now Caroline finishing up the battle line chase sequence as well, with Shockkolate going into the second to last screen.
And those runners are a little closer than their peers because Caroline had a bit of a faster start, and this run is judged by in-game time. So, so yeah, but she does have Caroline does have a bit of a lead right now. And OddBod starting Chapter 3 with a making wider his lead over Sylverfyst, which was to be expected considering the skill levels of these two players.
Sylverfyst is heading into the final screen of the battle line chase as OddBod begins to pick up some keys here. So there are some new gimmicks in the resort. We have those dust bunnies there. Those are hazards, and if you come in contact with them, Madeline will lose a life. Also, keys come into play. Basically, you're going to grab keys to unlock these doors. And then we have some pressure platforms and springs and a bunch of other special surprises that will happen later in the chapter.
All right. Sylverfyst entering the Awake section, finishing up Chapter 2. The rest of the players are still moving to the reception area of Chapter 3.
Shockkolate just entering Chapter 3 as well. You'll see him handle this first sequence here. The opening part of Chapter 3 really tests the player's ability to control their hypers and their dash jumps. So, took care of it very nicely, grabbing the key here. Oh, just missed it.
Whoop, must have missed that key by a pixel. OddBod now moving to the big mess. Very cluttered room, hard to move through quickly. No problem for him getting those tricky wall bounces off the walls. All right, OddBod now has to clean up 3 sections of the hotel to clean up those 3 categories of clutter in the middle of the room.
So for this section with Huge Mess, the player does have the option of choosing which rooms to go through. They have like the books and the towels, and then I forgot the name of the other one. But it is optimized for the speedrunners, so we have a set route that we go through, basically so that when we exit the room, we're close to Oshiro, so we can talk to him and continue to the next section.
It's really a pretty clever bit of game design here, where each of the 3 sections, you can choose them in any order, but the second and third ones will always be harder because there's more stuff missing that you've already cleaned up, therefore making the jumps a little trickier.
That is true. And now acaroline is running through the first section of the cleanup. Oh, nice save. Gets the spike jump as well. Again, that's another thing to boost yourself up. There's a few of those that aren't in play. You'll see another one in the next chapter.
And OddBod is clearing his 3rd button there, so the huge mesh is officially cleaned up, and he'll be able to grab that key in the middle of the room now. Move on to the elevator shaft.
Sylverfyst now making their way into the Huge Mess room as well. See how he handles this clutter.
OddBod in the elevator shaft area, definitely getting a little tricky at this point. A lot of longer rooms. The longer the room is, the more punishing if you die at the end, because it just takes more time.
Now OddBod is heading into one of the most difficult rooms in Chapter 3. Handles it like a pro. As you saw, he hit retry when he grabbed the key. That spawned him back at the beginning, which is a great time saver. Because normally you would go back around to get to the door. So it's a nice little strat that we have to save a little bit of time.
Shockkolate just earlier pulled off a cool little spike jump off the room that Sylverfyst is in right now. Looks like Sylverfyst will not be going for the same trick.
And now acaroline is finishing up the Huge Mess and heading into the elevator shaft as well, with Sylverfyst finishing off the book section. And
OddBod here is being chased by Mr. Oshiro, ghost form, angry ghost man. He's going to charge at you from the left. You have to get out of his way when he does so. You can bop him on his head to get rid of him for a bit and get your dash back. Most players will probably not try to hit him on the head, because the faster strats usually involve just avoiding him altogether.
Now, OddBod heading into the final screen. This is definitely one of the most, another challenging screen in the chapter because there's a lot going on. There's dust bunnies everywhere and a Shiro on your tail. He handles it very cleanly.
Yes, very nice entrance cycle for that room with that one death. Very punishing room.
Finished that with a 446. Acaroline
just did that death warp with the key there.
Sylverfyst entering the towel area of Huge Mess. Oh, taking a death there. Now Shockkolate also finishing up here.
OddBod has entered the Golden Ridge. So while the previous levels were dealing with a lot of external antagonists, Golden Ridge is just you against the mountain. We have these blue bubbles that shoot you in a certain direction for a bit. We have these clouds which act like bouncy trampolines. And we've got the wind, which you'll see on the screen right now, that can push you left or right.
Yeah, this chapter is also pretty short. I'd say about between 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the runner. And there are some skips, as OddBod actually come up to one here pretty soon that involves a spike jump. See if he gets that.
Misses it on the first try, gets it on the second.
And into that room,
double wall bounce there to avoid a moving block.
Some more wall bounces here as he moves in, and we're going to the auto scroller here. See if he's going to go for the skip here.
We'll see which variation. Okay, looks like he's going for the bunny hop variation. A little tougher than just the hyper, but saves you a little bit more time. You got it first try. Very nice.
Now, Acaroline finishing up chapter 3, nicely done. As Shockkolate is heading into the last big room inside the resort. Also with Golden Ridge, the wind is at various forces. Sometimes it's a nice little gust, and sometimes it's a really strong breeze where Madeline is forced to rely on her dash to advance.
Here now, OddBod is at the longest auto-scroller in the game, which is thankfully only maybe 10 or so seconds, just waiting for that block to come along.
Oh, nice jump to skip that section.
Nice skip over the top of that.
Yeah, that skip is very risky because if you do miss your dash or getting your dash back from an extended dash jump or like run to the spikes, you lose a lot of time.
OddBod in the cliff face section, very strong wind here. It's very hard to make any progress without dashing forward or using the speed tech involving dashes. He just raises the top of that snowball to skip one of the springs. And again, bopping right on that snowball to clear the room.
So the snowballs are similar to Oshiro, except they come towards Madeline instead of from behind. They target where she's at and then just go in a straight line. And as Birdopoy mentioned, you can bounce off of them, which will give you your dash back. And now OddBod is finishing up chapter 4. Nicely done. Acaroline going through as well.
And Shockkolate just finished the last room of chapter 3. Sylverfyst just entering the last room of chapter 3. So not too far behind. Though we're definitely seeing that skill difference become, the gap in the players becoming more pronounced as the race continues.
Also, Sylverfyst
we'll try to cover everyone though.
Yeah, one thing that we forgot to mention in Chapter 3, this is where cycles are really important. So you have the cycle when you first come in, but there is also a death cycle as well. The only other place I think is in Summit when you get to 1500, where this is also applicable.
Right. So OddBod and Mirror Temple now. Spooky section of the game. We have these dash platforms that move along their track when you dash, so you have some control over their activation. Oh, looks like OddBod just went for a neat little cutscene skip glitch there. I don't see too many runners go for that one. Basically teleported himself into the room right above the button he has to press. Saves probably like a second or 2 seconds or so.
Also, OddBod opted to not go for the dash block skip that's in that following room, but still cleared it very nicely.
I believe that skip doesn't actually save you very much time at all, unless you can also get the corner boost, which is very tricky to get.
Yes, and if you do get the corner boost, you can save up to about 3 seconds, but it is difficult. Actually, do you want to explain a little bit about corner boosting?
Corner boost is an advanced speed strat that most players won't go for very often. It involves going at high speed, either by dashing or some other form of speed, against the very top corner of the wall, and then jumping over it at the same frame. It gives you a little horizontal boost. It's a great way of preserving your momentum. The TAS uses it a lot, and some of the top runners have started to incorporate it more into their runs recently.
So OddBod has just finished the Seeker sequence, so there's going to be a new gimmick in this chapter where these the Seekers will be here, and they will hone in on Madeline and dash towards her, trying to take her out. And we'll be seeing them very shortly here.
Acaroline now entering Chapter 5 as well. While Shockkolate and Sylverfyst make their way through the Old Trail.
Sylverfyst on the auto scroller, he's going to go for the skip. And he gets it, nice job.
We're seeing some manipulation of the Seekers here on OddBod's screen to get them to be knocked into the coins or run into them themselves. Saves a little time having to get them yourself. So he just did the hyper to get the Seeker to explode right next to the wall down there and hit the coin, so he can just dash straight through that wall that used to be there, get up to the next section.
And OddBod is making his way towards the search skip, which is the biggest skip in the game. If you get this, you save about 2 to 3 minutes on the entire chapter. See if he goes for it, gets it first try. So for that, you're going to do a reverse dash jump, and then also another dash jump up towards the wall there. And it's a huge time saver.
Yep. It is probably the most important skip to learn in this run. It has absolutely the biggest ratio of reward to risk.
It's very true. And even if you do miss it a few times, the amount of time that you save once you get it is still definitely worth it if you miss it a few times.
Absolutely.
In the normal run, you're actually supposed to grab, I believe, 2 keys so that you can unlock some doors to get to a red bubble.
Right.
Which will make it so that you can advance that screen. Also, as we are moving forward on acaroline string with the red bubbles, they're similar to the green ones where you will zoom forward in a direction. They will go indefinitely until they either collide with a surface or if you dash out of them. So.
It's been pointed out in chat that OddBod is on very good pace right now, possibly good enough for a 31, which is very cool. We'll see if we can keep it up.
He also got a huge skip there in the Theo room, where using the dash platform and Theo as well to keep his momentum and just glide through the room. He's making excellent progress right now.
This is the final Seeker room of Theo, of Mirror Temple here, and he just got through it. Now he just has to get through these eyeball pulses, and he'll be through with Chapter 5. Very nicely done. Shockkolate just clearing up Chapter 4 right now. He's in the final room. And Sylverfyst and Cliffface.
Acaroline dealing with the Seeker room now.
About beginning Chapter 6, we see right away we have a new mechanic. We have these golden feathers. They let you fly in any direction, analog as well, direction, for a period of time.
And OddBod coming up to another skip. This is the lake skip.
And he's going for a version of it with a wall jump. I actually prefer that version myself. It's much easier than the underwater wall bounce, in my opinion. He gets the first try, which definitely saves a few seconds there. Nice feather optimization movement going on. By getting close enough to the spikes on his way around, he can avoid the animation of escaping from the feather and having to get a new one, which saves about a second.
Sylverfyst now finishing up Chapter 4 and getting ready to move into Mirror Temple.
Here we have the Kevin blocks on OddBod's screen. If you dash into them from one side, they'll go flying in that direction. As with any source of momentum in this game, you can use them to get some pretty huge speed in some ports.
Acaroline,
beginning chapter 5. Go ahead.
we have Acaroline entering the Theo section with Shockkolate going through, heading towards the Seeker section here. Making good work in that room there.
In the section OddBod is in right now called Hollows, there are actually many branching paths. Most speedrunners will take a top path through most of these gaps, except for, I believe, the last one, where he'll be taking the bottom. The route is pretty much known, which ones are faster and which ones aren't. There is some disagreement about the last one, I believe. You got the bumper boost to skip a bumper. Little sort of hidden speed tech with the bumpers where you can get a big boost out of them by moving away from them on the frame that you hit them.
Oh, Acaroline taking a death in the Seeker room here.
Shockkolate entering Unraveling now, while Acaroline is almost done with the Theo section. OddBod now out of the Hollows, gonna enter the... I forgot what the area is called, but he's now following. He's going to catch up with Battlein, and then they're going to have their epic battle. OddBod now taking a couple developer-intended skips there, kind of tricky shortcuts to take. There are setups for the first two. The last one is a little more freeform. You have to kind of move carefully on your way through it, but he gets it no problem.
So now we're going to encounter the Battleline boosts. So we have this giant crush block here. After a certain amount of time, he's going to do a hyper and a bunny hop, and one more bunny hop there. Nicely done. Saves a lot of time.
Basically going like a rail gun through that long hallway instead of having to jump through it.
So now OddBod is with the Battleline section here. So for the most part, Battleline is going to attempt to shoot either a giant laser at Madeline or these orbs that will kind of home in on her. And the objective is you want to get...
Sorry, just wanted to mention Acaroline went through Lick Skip and got it on basically the first try. Very nice.
So to clear out each of these rooms, Madeline is going to have to come in contact with Battleline, and doing so, she'll open up a new pathway. And it's definitely one of the more difficult areas in the game from a casual playthrough. But the route is pretty optimized, I believe, for this section. So
it's also just it feels very long in your casual playthrough. There's a lot of screens in this fight. Ooh, very nice ultra skipping the feather in that room.
Yes, and as you progress further, the rooms do get longer and longer. So a death late in each one is very costly. But OddBod making great work here. Acaroline taking care of these blocks here.
You might notice some of these Battlein strats involve really pushing it in terms of, oh no, she's about to hit me with my laser. Cutting it very close, hitting her just before she fires.
Also on Shockolate's screen, he did get the surge skip and is now progressing up to the rescue section where he'll be grabbing Theo.
OddBod now in the second part of the Battlein fight, where the blocks begin to move around on cycles. A little bit of an environmental hazard, so sometimes you can use them for extra momentum, like we just saw.
That room that OddBod just went through is very interesting. I've seen a lot of runners have a different approach each time they go through that, but since you're basically trying to get to that last block's first cycle, I believe no matter how you get there, as long as you get that, you are pretty much saving as much time as you can.
Right.
Now OddBod is heading into the final room of the Battlein sequence.
On very good... Oh, wow. That's a bad one.
Had a little trouble with the feather there and ran into some spikes.
That probably cost him about 10 seconds. But he's clear. OddBod now levels up, meaning he gets a second dash in the air, really opening up those movement mechanics.
Yes, and those will be applied as he proceeds into the final chapter, which is the Summit chapter. A very good time in reflection. It looks like he's going to get about 6:15.
Acaroline taken to death on the crystal skip there, that final one. Unfortunately, takes another death there. Unfortunately, going through those shortcuts makes you skip a couple checkpoints, which definitely ups the risk of taking those things.
Oh, another death there too. Yeah. Some runners opt to actually go and climb that wall because there is a checkpoint right there. But it is a huge risk if you'll save more seconds if you try to go for it. And acaroline gets it there and is moving forward, getting ready to see the Battleland boost.
So in the meantime, we can talk about what's going on OddBod's screen. He's entered the Summit, the final chapter of the game, also the longest by far chapter of the game, where you have to go through all the levels that you previously have been through. But this time you have 2 dashes, and the levels are designed around having 2 dashes, so they're a lot more challenging. Acaroline not going for the full Battleland boost, but gets a speed boost with a hyper off of Kevin.
And shockkolate.
Yep, just finished chapter 5.
We got Sylverfyst going through the rescue section here, making good work of the secret there. And now OddBod has entered the 500-meter section, which is chapter 1. So we have zippers and a lot of spikes.
The end of each checkpoint section, we have a little screen with Battleland. That purple orb you have to hit her enough times, get her all the way to the top, and then she'll boost you into the next section.
Now OddBod is in 1,000 meters, which is chapter 2, so you have more dream blocks. Something we didn't mention before, that it is possible to hyper dash out of dream blocks, allowing for a very nice speed boost. Let's see if he's going to opt for that in some of these areas. The hypering out of blocks isn't really applicable in Chapter 2 because you only have 1 dash, but with 2, it allows runners to really make a lot of fast movements, as we've seen in that previous screen.
Sylverfyst just finished up Chapter 5.
Shockkolate moving through the lake section, and acaroline going through the Battleland fight as well. As OddBod enters the 1500 section, arguably the most difficult section in Summit. It's made or break a lot of runs. We'll see how he handles these screens here.
OddBod is still on very good pace.
He's making great work here. He's about to get into a room that is very troublesome, and you're going to see a lot of ultras, hopefully. So we'll see that there. So in ultras, you do... Oh, ooh, taking a death there.
He got caught on that corner there. That was actually... he intended that to be a wave dash, but it ended up just being a wall jump instead, so he lost all his momentum.
Makes a good recovery and nails that room with the ultra dashes. So as I mentioned, ultra dash is when you perform a hyper, and while airborne, you're going to press down forward and dash again. And it basically gives Madeline a nice boost in her momentum. And as momentum is not capped, it is possible to chain them, but it's very difficult, but it's also a very profitable technique to learn.
Acaroline in the final battle line screen. Looks like he'll be finishing up pretty soon. Level up. OddBod in 2,000 meters, the Golden Ridge section of Summit. Lots of auto-scrollers, lots of wind. So we have a long snowball screen here. See how he gets through that. He has a strawberry trailing behind him. He has 2 strawberries trailing behind him. Nice.
Is he going to take it to the end? Nope. He's going to go for the skip, though.
Nice auto-scroller skip there. Extended hyper off the moving block, because it gives you a lot of extra momentum. And then a wall bounce to finish it off. acaroline beginning the summit, while Shockkolate and Sylverfyst are working their way through the hollows.
OddBod entering this auto section area with these pillars. You can skip a lot of them with some very good wall bounces, as he does very cleanly. Moving into the last section of the Golden Ridge section of Summit. Now we have Shockkolate going through the battle line section as well.
OddBod, wow, I'm looking at his time right now. He is in 2,500 meters with 27:30 about, which is on pace for an extremely good time. If he can keep up this pace, that's wow. Well, let's see what happens.
He also gets a skip there too. He performs 2 spike jumps to get enough height to double dash up and grab a key, skipping a red bubble, which is normally required to collect that key. He's making great progress here.
Threads that needle perfectly there. It looks like we're getting the door skip. All right, very nice.
So now OddBod in the final section of 2,500. There's a lot of just very, oh no. Dash twice and has to retry. This room is very long, so a death anywhere is very costly, as you are constantly ascending to get to the top of the section here. Oh, okay.
So that one could have been worse since it happened near the beginning of the room. That was an interesting wall bounce. I haven't seen that strat before.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. Very nice. He's still on great pace here as he enters 3,000, which is the final stretch. So we're going to have these flags, which are checkpoints as well. Chat usually likes to count them down, so feel free to put those up as he progresses through. And he's making very short work of this first section as we move into the downwind section of Summit. So for this section, you have a gust of wind. Instead of going left to right, it's going to go straight down, which limits Madeline's ability for the height of her jump. Also, if she's grabbing onto walls, she will forcibly slide down. So you have to be very nimble and very quick with your movements. As you can see, OddBod just clearing through these flags very quickly.
Using those dashes to counteract the wind. And just catching up with the other runners, we have acaroline entering 1,500 meters, making pretty good time there. Shockkolate is in the battle end fight, and Sylverfyst on his way to the battle end fight.
Sylverfyst opting to take
grabbing that checkpoint there.
But wasn't needed. Got it on the first try. Nice job there.
Always nice
and
to
now
have
we're
extra security, though.
Oh yes, definitely. Now OddBod has moved into the updraft section. So in this section, the wind is now gusting upwards, which gives Madeline a nice boost. And oh, a retry there. But with that being said, there's a lot of areas where you have to rely on very good dashes to just keep yourself up, or you'll just land into a bed of spikes, as OddBod did there. Oh no. Taking another death there. Now we have acaroline finishing the 1,500 section here. Just one more room, and then we have the where she has to run and catch up with battle line. Also with Shockkolate entering the second portion of the battle line fight in Reflection.
And I apologize in advance to our viewers. I'm going to have to drop off in just a couple minutes to get ready for my next race. Just a little problem with the scheduling that I did not take into account. But FC racers will be able to finish you guys off, no problem, I think.
Yeah, we are winding down here. All runners are getting very close to the end of the game. So it's going to be a very exciting finish here as OddBod is now working his way through, I believe, to flag 9.
It's like a few too many deaths on OddBod's side for him to get that 30, but still incredibly good time for a race.
Yeah, this is a very impressive run. So we have acaroline going through the auto scroller here in 2000. Let's see if they're going to go for the skip. It looks like it. And now OddBod in the final section, where there is no wind, but we have the feathers back in play and just a few more flags here. There's a lot of climbing and stuff, so it looks like he's handling this very cleanly.
And I'm going to have to sign off, folks. So give it up for FC Racer. He's going to finish you guys off with the commentary here. And GG to all the runners. And enjoy the tournament, everyone.
Yep, thank you, Berto, and good luck to you on your race today.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, OddBod is getting too close to the summit here, and he is going to finish with a 32-13. Nicely done. As Sylverfyst is making their way through the battle line fight here. We also have Shockkolate finishing up Chapter 6. With acaroline going into 2500 here, the Mirror Temple section. So, acaroline making great work here, doing some nice dashes there to get through that section. As Shockkolate begins to enter the summit, we have another death from Sylverfyst. The battle line section is very brutal. He's doing great work getting through there. Acaroline getting that key skip. Oh, nice recovery from Shockolate's screen there. Sylverfyst having a little bit of trouble in this screen. They have a few key place spikes in, with the platforms themselves. It makes it very difficult to navigate through. But he's doing the best he can to get through that part. We have acaroline going for door skip, but made a mistake there. Oh, it's going to be costly. They're going for it again. So we can get it this time. And success, nicely done. As Shockkolate moves into the final section of the ground floor of Summit. And now we have Sylverfyst going through these. Oh, taking a death there. The second to last screen. This one, again, is very long, so it's very crucial to not take a death here. So acaroline now hitting 3000 as Shockkolate is going through the 500 section here. I am joined by OddBod. Hello, sir, and congratulations on your victory today.
Yo, thank you.
You had a very good run there. They mentioned that you're actually on very good pace to get possibly a sub 31, but there were some untimely deaths in Summit. But I mean, overall, it was very impressive. Seeing some nice new strats. I like that wall bounce that you did in the last screen of 2500.
Which is technically what lost me like 10 seconds because I died there once, but yeah. Yeah, thank you. I don't know, it was a pretty good run. Decently happy with it.
And then you also have another race coming up later today, is that correct?
Oh yeah, for everybody watching right now, definitely check out that race. It will be in, I believe, 45 minutes, also on Speed Gaming 5, so you can stay here. It will be against Hornlets, who... I think we talked about it quite a bit on like Twitter and stuff. It will probably be like the most like competitive high level match in the group space, I think, because he's been playing for a while too, and I think he was like vastly underseeded because he didn't really play when the seeding was done. So that will be definitely interesting. Go check that out.
Yeah, he's if I remember correctly, he is the world record holder for the IL on Chapter 1, and actually I think scored under a minute now, so
yeah, he used to hold the record back in like the first week when this game came out.
Oh, okay.
That's when back like in the first few days we both traded actually.
Oh,
like
nice.
a legacy race.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. I also will be on commentary with TGH, I believe.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a very close and exciting race. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, do you have any other races coming up besides that one?
There is one on. Ooh, let me think. On Tuesday, I believe, against Dave Terrio. I believe at 5 p.m. ET. I'm not certain about that one, but that's coming up sometime.
Okay.
Like that.
Alright, so we're gonna get back to the race here. Acaroline entering the final section of Summit as we have shockkolate in 1500, and now Sylverfyst going through 500 as well. All the runners are making great time here, doing the best they can. We got. Oh, is he gonna make the save here? I want to see it. I'm gonna try for it. Oh, so close. And shockkolate clearing that room in 1500. So OddBod, I do have a question for you. It seems that there's a lot of people that are gaining interest in running this game. What would be the best advice that you would give to a new runner starting out on learning Celeste?
The biggest thing is, I think, just learn at your own pace, kind of. I feel many people that are new to the game kind of overtake themselves by like trying to, they only look at TGH's run and then learn of that, and then kind of do too hard strats, like where you just kind of learn at your own pace, try to get better eventually. And for resources to do that, I mean, just look at top runners pretty much. There's also some tutorials that you should definitely check out. Like I think Bentisi has a really good one. I heard. I never checked it, but that's many people. They link to that. So that would probably be it.
Nice. Also, Acaroline finishing up at 37.57 here. Nicely done. See if we can get them in the chat as well. As shockkolate is continuing to move through the 2000 section, and Sylverfyst now going through the 1000 section here with the Dream Blocks. Then also, OddBod, do you run any other categories or for Celeste, or is it just any percent?
No, I pretty much run all of them, but I mean lately it's been 80% for sure because of the tournament and stuff. But I've ran them all at some point.
Yeah, I'm thinking after the tournament I might give all red berries a shot.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Although, well, do what you do. That's really special, to be honest, what I'm going to say, but it's definitely a fun category.
Alright, so we have Sylverfyst going into the 1500 section here. As shockkolate is getting through 2000. We'll see if we can also get Acaroline in here as well to join the party here. And actually, OddBod, if you have anything else, or if you want to give some shout-outs or anything, let me know. This race here with shockkolate and Sylverfyst.
Shout-outs to Sylverfyst. That's the one. That's it.
Alright, awesome. Well, you do have a race in a very short time, so I'm going to let you go ahead and get focused and get ready for that one. Thank you again for stopping in for the interview. Appreciate it.
Thank you for commentating. Have a good one.
Then I'll put the links in the chat here in just 1 second as we have shockkolate getting through 2500 and also Sylverfyst now getting into that huge room in 1500. Ooh, taking a rough death there. So he opted to leave the room and come back in, and this is where the cycles come into play again, where if you die in this room, the cycle is just a little different. So some players do opt to actually retry at the beginning to get that cycle versus coming in at the first time. We also now have shockkolate getting that key skip and moving forward here. Sylverfyst making great work here, getting to the end of 1500. Oh, taking a death there. Alright, we're going to see if shockkolate is going to go for door skip. One screen away. The spikes there. Oh, ooh, nice save. Okay, opting to not go for door skip. It's really not detrimental. It's a second save, so nails it first try, which is definitely still a good attempt on that. Some runners do try to go for door skip and lose it, so it really is just runner preference on how they want to approach that room. As shockkolate gets ready for the final section here before getting to 3000, we have Sylverfyst getting to 2000, making great work through that spike room and those clouds, and he's about to enter the wind section of this part. Nicely done. Shockkolate now moving into 3000 here. Still making a good pace. I'm going to double check to see if he's on PB status here. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so I'm still looking that up here. Just give me 1 second here. So we got Sylverfyst in the auto-scroller. Let's see if he's going to go for the skip or not. Not playing it safe. Also, we have shockkolate getting through the first downdraft section of Summit. Oh, wow, making excellent work here. Just moving through at a very good pace. Did we get up there? Nice. Now Sylverfyst heading to the second section of wind. Now it's actually in Madeline's direction, so she's going to get a lot of distance. Oh, taking a death there. Also, shockkolate taking a death as well, missing the spring. Nice recovery from both players. Getting close, we're going to see him do an alternate version to this room if you don't do the wall bounces. Nicely done still, very clean. As Sylverfyst heads into the final section of 2000. Now, shockkolate is in the updraft section. See how he handles these peculiar jumps and spike sections that we have here. Making great work here. Flying through and getting these flags. And now Sylverfyst entering the Mirror Temple section of Summit. Again, 2500. Shockkolate adding the lock switches here. Let's see if he can clear this tunnel. Nicely done. Oh, taking a death there though. That's okay. It's the checkpoint's right there, so it's not as detrimental as if he were to ran into the spikes before. But moving along very nicely as Sylverfyst now going into the Mirror Temple section of Summit. Wow, blazing through that room. See if he's going to go for the key skip or not. Looks like he's going to go for it. Let's see if he can nail this one. So for this, you have to do 2 spike jumps. He gets it on the second try. There's a little bit of timing to it, and you have the chance of actually bumping your head on the right side, forcing a death. But he gets it very clean on the second attempt. As shockkolate is now moving into the third and final section of Summit. Oh, nicely done. Let's see if Sylverfyst is going to go for... No, he's going to opt out for a door skip here. Oh, nice wall bounce. Okay, I see you. Nice. Nicely done. And now they are going into the last section here. Trying to hyper in. As we have shockkolate now getting to the tail end. He just got to flag 3. He's going to make his way towards flag 2 here. And hopefully if all goes well, he will be finishing, I'm going to say, maybe possibly sub 46. Now Sylverfyst 2 also entering to the final section, entering Summit as well. Now shockkolate getting very close. There's a few more jumps and dashes here, and he'll be at the Summit here. All right, nicely done. Finishing off at, I think it said 44. Nicely done. So let's see if we can get shockkolate in here for an interview as well, as Sylverfyst is working through the first section of Summit and getting to the downdraft section. All right, so that is a PB for Shockkolate off of his speedrun.com time, which was at a 47. So nicely done there. So we got Sylverfyst going here as well. With Sylverfyst PB being at 52 minutes, very capable of making that happen and getting a PB here. Possibly even getting a sub 50. We'll see. If he can have a nice clean finish here, he just might get it. So I want to see if we can get if Shockkolate would like to come in for an interview, as Sylverfyst now finishing up the downdraft section and heading into the updraft section here. And again, chat, feel free to throw those numbers up as we hit those flags. Hello, Shock. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. That was good fun.
If I'm not mistaken, that is a PB for you at 45. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think my other PB yesterday was 47.25. So that's a huge PB.
Congratulations on that. How did you feel about the run overall?
I was shaking the entire time, to be honest. Like my hands were shaking in summits. I was just full of adrenaline, and I was really worried I was going to mess it up near the end.
I can totally relate. I know that in the races that I've done, I too have been like very nervous, particularly in the beginning. Just like a couple, just shaking it off and was able to get through. But I definitely understand the nerves for it. It's definitely something that a lot of runners are dealing with. Yep. But you put on a fantastic performance today, and especially getting that new PB.
Thank you. I'm aiming for a PB every race so far.
Nice. All right, so we have Sylverfyst here finishing up. He's on flag 9, one of the more difficult flags on Summit. You have this tricky area where you have these very narrow paths and a dash block in between, so you have to space your dashes correctly. Opting to take the 8th flag there. Some runners will skip that one, but when you do, you run the risk of actually starting off lower than normal. But he gets through it just fine. So actually, Shockkolate, do you have any other races today?
Not today, no. I've got one later in the week, on Tuesday, I think. And I've got another one next week as well.
Nice. Is there any race that you're really looking forward to out of your group, or have you already taken care of that one?
I think I've lost all my races so far, so I'm looking forward to the ones where I can win.
Oh, well, I mean, I believe I'm not sure about your seed in your group, but acaroline did finish with a sub 40, so it is going to be tough, but anything is possible. I mean, with nerves and everything, it can make a big difference on someone just messing up, or someone just excelling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I keep going the way I am, hopefully I can try and get into the next seed, hopefully.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Sylverfyst here is wrapping up, getting close. He's going to PB though, because I believe it was at 52. So getting down to the wire here. And done. Nicely done. Sylverfyst now finishing up with a time of 50:12. I'll see if I can get them in for an interview as well. So we do have plenty of other races coming up. As OddBod mentioned when he was in here, he has a race coming up at 1:30, and that is against Hornlets. It's going to be a very exciting race. I will also be on comms with that with TGH. And then I also I have a race later today. But like, you can check the schedule. There are plenty of races that are going on, not only today, but throughout the entire week. So, Shockkolate, do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to say before we...
I mean, not much other than that I felt the run was dead when I got to reflection. Like, I kept seeing greens on my splits, and then suddenly reflection I kept dying all the time. So that was really fun. But then I managed to pull it back in Summit, I think.
Yeah, reflection can be tough. But still, great run, and congrats again on the PB. We also have Sylverfyst in here. How's it going? maybe have some mic issues here. I'm not 100% sure. Sylverfyst, are you there?
Ah, there we go. Sorry, guys.
No worries. All right.
Had my mic on mute.
Oh, understandable. I've done that. Actually, in my interview for one of my races, I had the game audio blurring.
Ah, there we go. Sorry, guys.
No worries. All right.
Had my mic on mute.
All right. So, if I'm not mistaken, that is a PB for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. My Discord setup is mighty strange right now.
Okay. No worries.
But I had a great race, and I wanted to thank you guys before I popped out. I can't hear you, but for me, I really appreciated this entire race, and I wanted to thank OddBod and the rest of the guys in the channel. But since I can't hear you guys without having an echo, I'm gonna pop out. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sylverfyst. Alrighty, so we are going to wrap this up here. Again, give a follow to all these runners. They put on a fantastic job today, getting through all of this. And, nice double header here, so to speak. OddBod coming with a great one. Try to get into the chat here. I didn't actually have the channel running. I had just a commentator stream. And then we have some other races coming up as well again. Let's see. Okay, I guess we are going to wrap this one up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. And again, we'll have another race here very shortly here in about 25 minutes. It's definitely going to be very exciting, just along with all the other ones too. Again, check speedgaming.org for the schedules to see any and every race up. There's also a bunch of other races going on too. We have links to the past randos. I believe there's also a Final Fantasy 1 rando as well. So we've got you covered for your entertainment for the weekend. But I'm going to sign off. Until next time, you guys have a great day.